Hey everyone, Danielle Wateridge here. I am just making this quick video to address a question that I just got from a first-time buyer. And it's a question that I get a lot, so I wanted to just shoot a quick video on it. And that question is, what is an earnest money deposit? You might hear it abbreviated as EMD. And it is a little bit confusing until you have it explained, and then it's super simple. So basically, an earnest money deposit is a good faith deposit that's part of the initial contract, okay? And where people get confused is they think that this is extra money that they're bringing to the table. And the reality is your earnest money deposit is basically, the way to think about it is kind of an upfront deposit for your closing costs. So let's pretend at the end of the transaction, you would have been bringing $10,000 to the table and your earnest money deposit way back at the beginning of the process was $3,000. On the day of closing, you're only bringing $7,000, okay? So it's not additional funds, it's part of your ultimate cash to close. Now, typically, there's no real industry standard for it. There's no hard and fast rule of what that earnest money deposit has to be, but I can tell you in practice in Northern Virginia, we typically see something in the 1% to 2% of the sales price range. Now, that can vary if you're in competition. It can vary if you're in some of the higher price ranges. There's definitely, no tried and true, this is what it has to be. But 1% to 2% for you guys who are considering your first time purchase especially is something that you have to be prepared for. Now, one of the other things that people have to remember is that your earnest money deposit is not money that's due at the end of the process. So anybody who is looking to purchase a house, you have to have your earnest money ready to go in your bank account for the day you find the house. When your contract is accepted in Virginia, we have 5 days legally for that earnest money to be deposited in what we call the escrow account. And it basically sits there in this holding account until either A, the contract is voided, or B, you go to settlement. If you go to settlement, it's applied to the closing costs, like I said. If the contract is voided, then there's a bunch of paperwork that happens and then eventually gets released to you. And I will go through in another video the points of the contract that you can actually walk away without penalty. Your earnest money is never at risk unless you default on the contract. If you have a good agent helping you through the process, that should never happen, okay? So it's not money that's at risk. There are 3 points between a contract and closing that a buyer has the ability to walk away. It's contractually acceptable. There are points that you get that earnest money deposit back. So again, key points are money has to be available at the time that you find the house. So if you have a bunch of money sitting in a bunch of different accounts, before you start house hunting, consolidate into your EMD, at least into a central account. So 1, money that is available immediately. 2, money that is never at risk unless you default on the contract. 3, not extra funds, okay? Just an upfront deposit towards your eventual cash to close. So hope that's helpful. And yeah, coming at you today from a snowy February 1st day in Northern Virginia. The kids were off school again. But it is gearing up to be a cold Super Bowl weekend. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to address them in videos. Hopefully this is helpful. Talk to you guys soon.